on mine. Oh, now it says live.
Are we good?
Yep,
I think we're good.
Okay, yay. That was successful. Oh yeah, now I got the live thing.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
So NASA.
So NASA.
NASA awards $10 million grant to develop digital science courseware. Okay, guys, I'm not ready for this. I am ready. Here it goes.
You are ready? Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. What do we talk about? Because I don't really have any idea.
Okay, so the article is pretty straightforward. Just talking about, they gave all this money to try to promote sciences and everything. And I find it kind of interesting because, like, NASA really hasn't seemed that prominent in the past how many years?
I seriously didn't even know NASA was still a thing.
Yeah, but I thought Obama shut NASA down. And in retrospect, $10 million over 5 years doesn't seem like a lot for NASA, because I thought, like...
For NASA, probably not. For the school, it's probably a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
school it's a lot, but, like, how much is, like, one project at NASA? Probably like $1 bajillion. That was weird.
exactly 1 bajillion.
Yeah. Okay, with this grant, we can promote a greater public understanding and appreciation for science and inspire a new generation of explorers that is approachable and interactive. So what's the, like, technology aspect of this?
Says the most immediate goal is to develop learning programs for so-called self-learners, and the longer-term goal is to develop a program for formal K-12 students.
That's going to take a ton of money.
Yeah.
Well, it's real.
Yeah, but you look at it like you're promoting this from such an early age. You're getting kids interested in science and astronomy. I mean, am I the only kid who wanted to be an astronomer or up at some point, or an astronaut? Like,
Maybe now we
it
won't
happens.
have all female teachers.
It was one of those unrealistic dreams because we never had the resources.
Right. But now, kids might have a couple more resources. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who's in a room with someone else? They're so loud.
Oh, I just had people walk past. I'm in the lounge.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
I'm in the School of Music. So if you hear flute in the background, that's that as well.
I'm at the fire station.
Why are you at a fire station?
Because you guys were like, free, and it would have taken me another 45 minutes to get home. So I was like, okay, I'll go to the fire station.
Oh dear.
Well, it also talks about self-learner, like the program is centralized for self-learners, which a lot of programs aren't. A lot of kids that end up being self-learners get a hands-on approach, but they will with this, I guess.
Better? It's?
I didn't even know some of these things were like a thing, like biogeochemist. I didn't know that was like an option for a career path.
Yeah.
How do you do a bio?
Kind of like the different types of engineers.
Yeah.
Like how many different engineers are there?
They're like, we're trying to inspire a new generation of explorers. Like, what does that mean? Are these kids even going to be able to get jobs? If they, like...
You know what, I think it depends. Like we're taught that we're going to be like we're going to be training kids for jobs that don't even exist and that we can't even
That
conceive right
terrifies
now.
me. The idea.
That does terrify me a little bit. But I think this is getting into that, like, your students very well could be going into outer space. So we want to make sure they're prepared for it.
Good point. Good point.
That's crazy to think that, like, the basic jobs that, like, we would talk about whenever we were in grade school, like, oh, like, realistically, I could be a doctor, a teacher, or any of these things. That whenever we're teaching,
Yeah.
they're going to be like, oh,
No,
astronaut.
I just am here for flute choir.
Oh, cool. Yeah. You run into people and you're out of place.
Yeah.
Why do I know you? That's cool. Have a good practice.
Thanks.
So kind of like what I was talking about earlier, the $10 million over the next 5 years
The one in the bookstore.
is
Yeah.
like extremely low because
Yeah, okay.
in 2011 NASA's budget was 11 or 18 billion.
Yeah, they have
I'm sorry, what was the first letter on that? I couldn't hear it.
Well, what I was saying was like how I was talking about how the 10 million over 5 years is really not a lot of money to NASA. Like
Yeah.
they had a budget of 18.4 billion just for the year. So like it's a good grant, but I don't know how much they can do.
I think the question is, if they're giving that much money to a program like that, I think people would question if it was more, considering there's probably a lot better things money. It's probably starting off grant, like,
Yeah.
if it goes well, then you make it more donation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the kids in the schools are going to be, you know, going out and building a rocket.
Yeah.
Like, they're exploring their different options.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this is,
More than what they-
exploratory money.
So I got like a TV set and stuff, and oh man, yeah. And so I did that yesterday.
And like, you also want to consider how prominent science and math classes are becoming now, like today, you know, just all across the board, and any place where you can, you know, stick your foot out and say, hey, I know a little bit more about this, you know, that instantly makes you more marketable in a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different fields.
Break the elevator. You want to take a ride up?
Especially
You got stuff to do?
Yeah, I'm not doing something else.
Okay, man. Sorry, I gotta
No,
run.
it's cool.
It's great to hear from you, man.
Yeah, it's so good. If I don't catch you at your recital, are you gonna be?
I'll be floating around. I'm gonna take gear up and down. So.
Okay, and then are you gonna be like down Milano's afterwards, or?
That.
I think it's really cool that like the
Probably
entire
I'll be
purpose
taking
of
your
this
back.
program
Alright,
is to like make it
Yeah.
different than just like current science education. Like it's even like specifically says they don't want to rely on lectures and the memorization of facts with this program, which is really cool because I personally hate science.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and lectures are so boring. Like, I mean, we're all early childhood. Have you ever tried to sit down a class of first graders and lecture them? It doesn't work.
Today, Megan and I sat down and watched the 3rd grade science class, and they freak out over playing with a thermometer. Like, that's how ridiculous it is. So I can just imagine having this kind of thing generated into, like, K through 12. These kids would go berserk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aims to help learners become problem solvers capable of exploring the unknown rather than just mastering what is already known. Learning science as a process and as a universe of questions rather than a dusty collection of facts. So, yeah, I think what we talked about pretty much sums up that fact of
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this is going to take science in general and like all these different schools that are taking part.
Yeah, I'm wondering like which like from Arizona State like where it'll branch off into like if it when it'll go into like the lower grade
Mhm.
levels to like prepare them to go into a school like that that will have those kind of programs.
Hmm.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I think it's super cool how like the principal and deputy principal are both females, which is like super encouraging to girls.
Hmm.
Since
Yeah,
apparently it's a huge issue having like girls in science and math, like there's not enough.
Yeah.
yeah, and now the fact that these two, like these principals are going to be prominent roles in the kids' lives, in the female students' lives as female role models, and it's like, hey, we've got lots of science. You should like science, and one thing leads to another.
So this like ASU Center for Education through Exploration seems to be pretty cool. I went onto their website. Um, so they have like uh, online science courses for non-scientists, um, online immersive virtual field trips, and a network of digitally empowered educators throughout the U.S., which is kind of nice that it's not just centralized in Arizona, but that it's like the educators are spread throughout because
Yeah,
different kinds of technology and information all around the U.S. I'm really
yeah.
liking the background music.
For me,
So, like flute or whatever.
yeah, yeah. I just got out of flute choir. And I'm sorry, one of our regulars came by and started talking to me, so that's what that was about.
Yeah, I'm just like down the commuters lounge in like the not so populated area. Hi, Steven.
Okay, that was weird.
Like someone walked by talking about Cheese Whiz and Oreos, so
Oh,
I love it.
what does it mean by formal K to 12 students?
um, where does it say that?
It's like,
Towards the bottom. It's like the second to last paragraph.
The most intermediate goal is to develop learning programs for so-called self-learners, and the long-term goal is to develop a program. So I think what it's saying is like right now they're trying to develop a program for the self-learners, like the kids who learn by doing themselves, and the long-term goal is to develop a program for formal K through 12 students, which means just like the average classroom of a.
Yeah, not like homeschool or anything, just, public or private.
yeah, like in classrooms.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So, how do you think you'd be able to work through the kind of sciences that they're talking about in this? How do you think you're going to be able to work that into your
I don't even
classroom?
want to think about that. Like, that's really scary to think about. I don't understand science now.
I mean, this is silly, but I've always wanted to do like the butterfly thing, like get the caterpillars and do the
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like a NASA science thing, but it's a science thing.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did that in grade school.
Making
Yeah.
like the cornstarch and water, that's always fun.
I think it's interesting though, because like as a teacher, you're going to be given new like information to teach your students that maybe you didn't know about before, but they usually give you like a lesson plan. So I think it's like an opportunity to learn yourself
Yeah.
and teach that to your students, which is kind of cool because you're like even though you're a teacher and you're teaching all these younger students who don't know about it, like you don't know about it either. So before they even get to learn about it, you're learning something new also, and then you can kind of share like the excitement with the kids because you're like, yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, I taught preschool my senior year of high school, and I absolutely loved it. And it's not quite to rocket science, but I wanted to do something really exciting for the kids in one of my science classes. And I found out that if you mixed baby oil and flour, you get like moon sand. Like it shapes, and then it'll stay there. And it's actually really cool. And that's just one thing that I'm like, I want to learn more about this, about, how I can make this lesson interactive with my kids. So I'm going to try this. And, I know I would be willing to go out of my way to learn a new lesson if it meant that I could better my students' education. I don't know about you guys, but...
Yeah, I agree with that because it's like, there's some points where it gets to be too much, like the kids get too crazy whenever you have like an assignment like that, but then sometimes it gets to the point where they're not involved enough and they're not paying attention, so you need to get them involved, like whether it's group work or like working with their hands whenever they need to build something or watch a reaction that only you do. They still get excited and it makes them want to come back, like, hey, we're doing a science experiment on like Thursday or whatever, and they'll be like so excited for that one assignment. That was something that I always looked forward to, was like the group work and like all of the activities that we did in class. So I think it's like a good incorporation.
Yeah.
How long does this thing have to be?
I don't know
between 20 and 30 is a safe bet.
how long have we been recording?
18 minutes and 22 seconds, something like that. I've been checking periodically. 32 seconds.
So,
Check that.
before we end this thing, how do I, like, save it and upload it to, YouTube, or how do I send it to him?
I think it automatically like posts it on YouTube,
And then
and then you just have to send him the link.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm so confused.
You're good, Kaeli.
I'm just amazed that I was able to figure it out again.
That's kind of scary that it automatically uploads it.
Yeah.
Technology is insane nowadays.
Mhm.
What if I don't want to upload it?
But it's kind of cool, though, because, like, my kindergarten class had a chalkboard, and by the time I graduated from high school, everyone had smartboards.
Yep.
Like, it just goes to show, like, how much our generation has developed, and I'm kind of glad that we were molded into technology and not just, like,
Thrown into it.
it wasn't there, and then we were thrown into it in college. Like, your students are going to know this.
Yeah, we got like
So that's kind of nice, too.
we got like the good transition generation because like
Yeah.
8th grade, whenever I visited my high school, they had like one smart board and they were so amazed by it. They were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Only one classroom has it, so you better get in this one classroom. And then I get there freshman year and like a couple more have it. And then at the end of my freshman year, they announced that we're getting iPads and that every classroom's going to have a smart board. Like, it was insane. And then now I go back and they have a Dream Lab, which is like 2 walls covered with like huge television screens that they can use their iPads on, and like they can design things, and they have like all these huge Mac computers all over the room. It's incredible. And I'm just like, I could use it because I was transitioning into those kinds of like technology, so like it's not too far-fetched for me because I was in that transition rather than just getting it like thrown at me, like as if my parents were if my parents tried to use any of the technology, they'd be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was good that we
You
got
know, I think... Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was saying that it was good that we got the transition while we were still in school, like at that age level, rather than in college.
And then just right over
Yeah.
that wall, you'll see there's some gear already up there.
Where we were instructed about it.
Yeah.
Like, my mom still gets mad at me whenever I try to text someone plans, and she's like, "Why don't you just call them?"
Yeah.
It's like, because that's not
like
our
when
generation.
Shein-
We're different.
Hmm.
And then you have like Sheehan who struggles in class.
All right. I'll get you another
Yeah,
one.
it's just different. So I'm really glad that we were educated about like the different forms of technology. I'm really glad we have this class, because if I just went into a classroom and my kids started spouting off this and that and started talking about code,
They're probably all gonna know about it by the time we go to teach them.
Probably. They're going to be offering classes about it.
I will not be the technology teacher.
Oh no.
I thought Scratch was really cool though.
I couldn't figure out how to get it to work other than making my dinosaur change colors and spin in a circle.
Squirrel head. Just fun.
Okay, so my laptop has 3 minutes left of battery. Do we have any parting comments?
Yeah, we're at 22:40, so.
I think we're good
Okay.
then.
Yeah, I think we covered all of it. That's pretty much
Yep.
the importance of this article.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good job, guys.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys.